How do you cheat on your partner on Valentine's Day? Yeah, you heard it right. This young couple appears before Judge Lauren today to confirm the paternity of their child. Regardless of the outcome of the DNA test, the couple already agreed on going on a divorce. It's just another drama day on paternity court.
Mr. Fetters, you say you're in the midst of a divorce because your soon-to-be ex-wife is a serial adulterer who even cheated on you on Valentine's Day, which you believe resulted in the birth of her 9-month-old son, Corbin.
The tricky question is this: who cheated on who? Ms. Fetters certainly thinks her husband isn't fit to be called a irresponsible husband, and neither does she think he's a responsible father. However, she affirms that he's her child's biological father, even though she did some things she isn't proud of. While the situation appears to be foggy, one thing is certain: we're in for a long court drama today.
Ms. Fetters, you say your husband is an irresponsible crybaby who can't keep a job, stay faithful, or please a woman.
Yes, Your
While
Honor.
you admit to making some mistake, you say Mr. Fetters is undoubtedly Corbin's biological father.
Now you would think, why would Mr. Fetters believe his wife is a serial cheater? He sure does have his reasons, and learning these reasons will have you blown away. But something doesn't add up in his testimony. If she did what he said she did, why did he marry her afterwards? Well, it's either he's lying or he's just a sucker for love.
It all began when we first met at a water bowl. I thought I had met her at love at first sight. Up until the 6-month mark, she had informed me that she had slept with my family member.
Oh! 6 months into your relationship, your girlfriend sleeps with your family member.
In her defense, Ms. Fetters gives the court reasons to believe her husband's testimonies about her aren't entirely true. But here comes the crazy part. She admits to cheating on him with someone else, but claims she told him about it when it happened. Whoa! How crazy is that?
Did you sleep with the family member?
No, I did not. The family member and himself lack in a department, so I did not finish the duty. Nothing happened.
Oh!
He just thinks something happens. He has no hard facts or information, and when I do sleep with someone else, I tell him the truth.
Apparently, Ms. Fetters actually requested for a divorce after the child was born, and that prompted Mr. Fetters to try to find out why she made that decision. Her reasons will leave your jaws dropped. She believes he lacks in a department that's very, very important to her. Now, what department is that? Want to take a wild guess?
Come as when he was conceived, I had to pry the information as to why she was wanting to leave me in the first place, and come to find out she had actually slept her ex-husband, Justin. And this was the day before Valentine's at midnight. We went to go see 50 Shades of Grey, so we had a wonderful night.
This revelation has Judge Lauren stuttering as she tries to understand what was being said. As it turns out, after a romantic late-night movie date with her husband, Ms. Fetters went out that same night to have sex with her ex-husband. You've seen many flabbergasting soap operas, but I bet you haven't seen one like this before.
I'm going to be with my ex-husband.
No.
That is what I said, and he knows.
Before you left?
Before I left.
She did not, Your Honor.
So wait, you go to the movies and have a good date night, and by the end, you're in the bed with your ex-husband?
Yeah, he didn't want to
That
be
sounds like a
sexually
real
active
wife
with
and
me.
winner.
So
Disputing his soon-to-be ex-wife's claims about his infidelity, Mr. Fetters claims he has always been faithful to her from the onset. Why did Ms. Fetters make such claims about her husband? If she doesn't have substantial proof to validate her claims, perhaps she's trying to win the court over to justify her disgusting character. Well, whether or not he did, the result of the DNA test won't mend their broken marriage.
You have sex with other women, but you won't have sex with your wife?
She has no factual proof. I've never slept with any other women outside of our relationship.
When did she come back?
She contacted me at 7:30 in the morning to let me know where she was at. So I came there with our 2 children at the time, and she had told me that she didn't want to be with me.
The funny thing is this: the defendant made some ridiculous claims about the sexual intercourse she had with her ex-husband, but yet she believes Mr. Fetters is the child's biological father. But how could he continue to love her after finding out she cheated on him the way she did?
and then I spent the night with him.
Was it protected sex?
Nope.
He actually didn't completely finish.
Okay, so he did
Complete,
not
yes.
finish the act.
Correct.
And you admitted this to your husband?
Correct. And he knew. And then shortly after, yes, I got pregnant.
You haven't heard it all. Here comes the tricky part: the window of conception. Unlike the 50 Shades of Grey the couple went to see on their movie date, this story is 50 Shades of messy.
Soon after after this incident did you find out you were pregnant?
I found out, I would say, just like maybe a month later, a month and a half, I found out. And the conception date was between February 11th to February 14th. They gave me that window.
So that's right there.
To solidify her claims, Ms. Fetters says something really interesting about the man she slept with. But regardless of her claims, the fact remains she had unprotected sex with her ex-husband. Then, hours later, she was with Mr. Fetters. As a result, her child has 2 potential biological fathers.
To do the same
My
thing.
marriage with him ended because he can't have children. A doctor told him his sperm count is too low to conceive.
So did the doctor tell him he can't have it?
Yes, it's a very low chance that he can have any children.
Do you have
That's why I wanted
Very
to start
low is different than can.
At this point, I think we've had enough of Mr. and Ms. Fetters taking a swipe at each other. It's high time we heard the DNA test result. Regardless of the test result, it's safe to note that this couple are never coming back together. I say this because the drama in their relationship is way too much.
Biological father is Mr. Fetters.
And Ms. Jones also came with her mom to cement her claims. It looks like today's case is a tag team championship match. Don't go nowhere.
Ms. Jones, you and your mother say you are tired of the defendant's denial. He's the biological father of your 6-month-old son, and once the DNA results prove your claim, you demand to be reimbursed for Baby Lyric's child care expenses. Is that correct? Mr. Houston, you and your mother believe jealousy over your new relationship has led the plaintiff to point to you as her child's father, and you are convinced the truth will be revealed in court today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Jones alleges that she was in a relationship with Mr. Houston in high school, but the relationship went down the drain just before prom. She literally left him because he can't think on his own.
Well, Your Honor, he was so immature that I had to break it off with him a week before prom. He let everybody in his ear. He doesn't have a brain for himself.
Were you boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yes, we were boyfriend and girlfriend.
In high school?
Yes, ma'am.
Something utterly bizarre happened when Judge Lake asked the young man if he thinks for himself. His answer was so hilarious, it left everyone laughing. What's more hilarious is what his mom whispered in his ear with the mic on. Now it's evident that Mr. Houston is a mommy's boy, and that's why they broke up.
Do you think for yourself?
No.
You don't. Who thinks for you?
Yes, you do, honey.
Who thinks for you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I do.
You do?
Yes, my son thinks for himself. They were, she broke up a few days before prom. It was not a week.
It was a week before
It
prom.
was 2 or 3 days before.
After getting inspiration from mom, Mr. Houston is all pumped up and ready to take on his ex-girlfriend. He claims they broke up because she cheated. But Ms. Jones cuts in to make the court understand that his parents orchestrated their breakup.
No,
Prom.
it was a week before prom, Your Honor.
We broke
It
up
was a
because she was getting confronted of cheating on me.
But I ain't never cheated on him. I have never cheated on him.
But once
his family had him
I got to
believe
confront her.
that I was the one who was cheating on him, and it was mainly you and your husband.
Right.
Mrs. Houston tries to defend herself by explaining that Miss Jones once lets her 15-year daughter play with her phone, and once it was connected to the home Wi-Fi, some awkward messages came through. These messages led to the conclusion that the young woman was cheating on her son.
Because
That
me
was
and my
good.
daughter were catching text messages coming through your
What
phone.
text messages?
You were answering
What
your
text
phone.
messages?
The one about the gentleman asking about, did y'all have a good time last night?
It wasn't a
And then
text
you
message in
denied
my
it
phone.
when my 14-year-old daughter was sitting there?
Even with those strong allegations, the young woman maintains that she never cheated on her ex-boyfriend. Now who's lying? We will find out soon enough, won't we? After she got pregnant, she said was unsure about telling the Houstons because of their usual drama. But eventually she did, and she got more drama.
I don't know why they got their
When you two were dating, were you dating anyone else?
No, I was with him. I was faithful to him.
So you broke up around prom, the time
Yes,
right before prom.
A week before prom.
When did you find out you were pregnant?
I found out June 3rd that I was pregnant. And then once I scheduled the date for my actual appointment to see how far along I was a whole month pregnant.
The drama between the two families in court today is off the charts. Ms. Jones claims her ex-boyfriend's mom has been excluding herself from anything that involves her baby. Instead, she's focused on the white lady her son impregnated. Now that sounds like racism. It's obvious that our white granny prefers having a white grandson over having a black grandson.
Disconnecting herself this whole time. She's like, that's between you and Nigel. That's between you and Nigel. So
Miss
she
Houston,
doesn't.
have you stepped out of the picture? You said it was between her and your son?
Yes, ma'am, because it's so much drama going on. When you call somebody 8 months pregnant and say, hey, I just found your number in my old phone, so hey, you guys are too much drama. I didn't want to tell you I was pregnant.
In an attempt to hide her racism agenda, Mrs. Houston insists that her family didn't discover the pregnancy until it was several months old, which is why she believes the pregnancy isn't her son's. Ms. Jones was quick to remind her she requested for a DNA test several times to clear all doubts, but there was no response from the Houstons.
Because she waited until she was 8 months. I mean, you can't just throw 8 months and I'm about to have a baby in a month and expect somebody to jump on ship with you and be like, okay, great, let's go shopping.
Your Honor, I was.
Hold on.
And I text and called her, never got a return call.
Your Honor, I asked for DNA multiple times, more than 3 times, because I already knew that me telling them at 8 months that I was pregnant, I already knew it was probably gonna be like some denial. So I offered the DNA test.
In the midst of the argument between the two families, the Houstons made a strong claim about other potential fathers for the baby in question. Whoa, where did that come from? As it turns out, Mr. Houston's new girlfriend works at the same place as his ex-girlfriend, and as you would expect, she has a lot share with the court.
She was
So why
like,
did the coworker say somebody else was the baby daddy?
what coworker?
Manager said,
The manager.
The manager
Your
said,
Honor,
oh, you're one
Your
of the
Honor,
guys that she's claiming to be her baby daddy.
Your Honor.
the manager
Wait, what's
told,
the story?
Your Honor, what
Wait.
is they talking about?
Miss Hasty worked at, one of the managers came in and saw Mr. Houston or my son and said that, is that one of the guys that Miss Jones is claiming to be her baby's father?
After taking the Houstons to school, Judge Lake is ready to read the DNA test results. Does Mama's boy get to father 2 babies at the same time? Only one way to find out.
Mr. Houston, you are the father.
Boom! Yeah.
Miss Jones, don't act silly. Don't act silly in here. Don't.
Feel if the woman of your dreams puts you through your worst nightmare. That's the case of Mr. Baker as he stands before Judge Lauren today with his sugar mama. And as usual, it's a paternity case. What's more is that it involves 2 best friends. The paternity battle between 2 interracial women. Mr. Hughes is caught in a crossfire between his ex-girlfriend, Ms. Jackson, and his mother, Ms. McBirth, and I hope he's wearing a vest. These ladies are having a dispute on whether or not the young man is the biological father of little Elijah. We are in for a classic American television soap opera.
You say you're stuck between your mother and your ex-girlfriend who are in a heated dispute in court today. Miss McBirth, you petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove your son, Kakitho Hughes, is not the father of Miss Jackson's 2-year-old son, Elijah Jackson. Furthermore, you're suing Miss Jackson for $1,000 for defamation of character because you claim she posted comments on social media.
Going first is Ms. McBirth, and she is not holding back in her critical description of her son's ex-girlfriend's character. The black mother tags the young white lady as trash, trouble, and trifler. Oh, she didn't stop there. Mr. Hughes' mother insists she won't accept Elijah as her grandson, mainly because of his skin color.
So, Ms. McBirth, why do you believe your son's not the father?
This woman is trouble. She is trouble with a capital T. She, as a matter of fact, I call her the 3 T's. Trash, trouble, and trifling. That's what she is. The little boy looks nothing like my son or any member of my family at all. Can I show it? Can I?
Absolutely, ma'am. What did you bring? Piece of evidence. Jerome, may I see that, please? This is a photo of your son and the child in question.
Right.
Ms. Jackson tells the court how she feels about her ex-boyfriend's mother's statements. But before she could make a point, Big Mama comes at her without restraint again. I think it's time Mama takes a breather and let the young woman tell her side of the story.
Obviously, you have a different opinion. So why do you think she's in so much doubt over your child?
I have no idea, to be honest. Like, maybe because he is so white.
Because he all the white. He ain't got no black in here. Everything I see got powder puff on it. I don't see no chocolate nowhere, okay?
No, ma'am.
The young woman claims she was in an intimate relationship with Mr. Hughes for several months before she conceived, and he was the only man she had sexual relations with at that time, so he had to be her baby's father. Yet again, Big Mama interrupts her, but this time around, she has backup.
You've been in a relationship with Mr. Hughes.
For maybe about 15, 18 months.
Okay, so a little over a year. Were you in a committed relationship?
I thought we was.
You did, okay. And was he the only person you were intimate with during that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Now she knows she lied.
Can
She
I say
lied.
something?
She lied.
Yes, ma'am.
This DNA right here.
Apparently, Mr. Hughes has 2 kids by another woman, and they are the only children accepted by his family. There seems to be more to the hatred they have for Ms. Jackson and her son. You wouldn't believe what Ms. McBirth did the first moment she saw little Elijah.
Mr. Hughes has.
In 10 years,
In
he got
10
2
years.
babies
He's been
by
in a relationship
another
for 2
woman,
years.
and
For 10
those
years.
are my grandchildren.
For 10 years. So all she basically was for him was a snack cake on the side of his meal.
Thank
there was
you.
nothing more.
Thank you. A side chick.
And it's all she has done is she's been trying to put the baby on us.
Force it. Yeah, you have. Don't sit up and
She
act like you
forced
haven't.
it, but the thing about her
She's trying to push that baby on. That ain't mine. I didn't sleep with her.
Now this is where it gets interesting. Mr. Hughes' sister claims Ms. Jackson initially told her she didn't know who fathered her son. Whoa! If she actually admitted that at first, then she deserves all the heat she has been getting. What's more is that she turned down every chance of getting a DNA test done before today's hearing.
Elijah
She told
is
me
very
he wasn't.
white.
She told me she didn't know who the father was. First she's changed her story up different times about who's the father. At first, when I first met the girl, she said, okay. I asked her. I said, okay, this is my brother's baby. She said yes. I said, do you know or do you think? She said, I think. So when we asked while she was pregnant, we asked her for a DNA test.
That's not all. There is an argument that Elijah has Ms. Jackson's ex-husband's last name. And on top of that, Mr. Hughes' name isn't on his birth certificate. What explanation does our baby mama have for these accusations?
That's because that's my last name.
And so hold on now, if you don't think the child is his, why would she be trying to change the name?
We've been trying to change the name a couple weeks ago. Even we talked about it.
He's two
When
years.
My son ain't said
His
no lie
name's
like
not even
that.
on the
Stop
birth
lying.
certificate.
Stop lying.
Okay.
Whose name is on the birth certificate? Do you know?
Nobody's.
Exactly,
Because he went.
It could
He
be
was not
anybody.
there
It
when
could
he
be-
was
it could be
born.
anybody's baby.
Exactly. I could put anybody on there, but I didn't.
Honey,
Too
you
bad
can't
when
put
he
another
comes
in
back.
there.
Judge Lauren tries to analyze the young man's connection with the child in question through a picture. Big Mama couldn't stay in her skin seeing her son showing the little boy some fatherly affection in a picture? You couldn't have guessed what said?
Just take a look at the monitor. When you look at this picture,
It make me want to throw up.
it seems like your son is kissing the baby. It makes you want to throw
It makes me want
up.
to throw up because it's a
Why?
lie.
For your son to be kissing an innocent child?
Because it's not his.
It doesn't matter, really, if he's showing the child love.
It's not his.
Since the hearing commenced, Mr. Hughes has been a passenger like the rest of us. Now it's time for him to tell his side of the story. What he has to say will leave you dumbfounded.
Step up to the podium. Do you believe you are Elijah's father?
I just gave him the benefit of the doubt because I'm biracial. My father's white, you know.
That child is not my son, okay? She got men's coming and going in and out of her house.
My
We
father's
don't
a
know.
brown-haired, blue-eyed dude, so.
How you know? He just gonna
blinded,
say that
blinded.
because she gonna freak him after this.
Yeah.
The court has heard everyone's side of the story, but that's not enough to determine whether or not Mr. Hughes is Elijah's biological father. The only way to determine that is Judge Lake reading out the DNA test result. Now let's cut to the chase.
Mr. Hughes, you are Elijah's father.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's not true. You a lying trick. What did you do? What did you do?
calm
She probably
Hey, get rid of Satan.
You
Save our lives.
A biracial young man is in court today with his white mom to prove that his black ex-girlfriend's baby isn't his. For backup, his ex-girlfriend